review of this game. I would like to say for just for reference again, I'm not the biggest Star Wars fan. I would call myself like I would be a hobbyist. Like, I know Star Wars. I'm pretty hip on what's going on and how everything works, but I'm not a giant fan. I used to be. When I was a kid, and I think mainly it was because, one, I saw the movies in the theater, the re-release of the original trilogy at theaters, and then I played this video game called Star Wars Jedi Knight Dark Forces 2 with Kyle Katarn, dude. The legend. And it got me obsessed with Star Wars, and I read books, and I watched all the movies, and I went and saw episode 1 in the theater like 37 times or something ridiculous like that, and became a huge Star Wars fan. And then Star Wars kind of stopped doing things. Hey, Ren, thank you for that.
What is it?
15 months of subs, by the way, for Rennie. Thank you very much, man. Appreciate that. I love this reward. It's the best reward. So, Star Wars just kind of stopped being cool. Like, I know that they have some good TV shows, like Clone Wars and Rebels and all that stuff. Never watched them. All I really cared about was the movies. I stopped really reading the books. Then Disney bought them and blew up the expanded universe, and so I was like, my favorite Star Wars book, Shadows of the Empire, doesn't even exist anymore. And so I just kind of soured on the whole Star Wars thing, and I can't really forget the passion or the knowledge that I used to have about Star Wars. So I'm still a fan, but I don't go out of my way to be a fan, if that makes sense. Also, every Star Wars game since Battlefront has sucked. And I mean the OG Battlefront. I never played Battlefront 2, to be clear, but I played Battlefront 1 on my PC. Loved it. Okay? All of these games since then have kind of sucked. Honestly, most of the Star Wars movies have kind of sucked. Like, they've been okay. They're very okay. It's a big bowl of just all right, okay? And, finally, there's a Star Wars game that actually made me feel like I was playing those old Dark Forces 2 games again. Difficulty, exploration, awesome lightsaber battles. You never really feel OP, which is kind of a problem with all Star Wars games, to be honest. Like, even in the Kyle Katarn games, you never really felt super OP. They use the Force in clever ways. It has a lot of replayability. But, to be honest, the best thing about this Star Wars game is that they lifted a lot of great things from other good games. The God of War, Uncharted style exploration. Small, contained puzzle dungeons like in Zelda. And then Sekiro, Shadows Die Twice, combat and respawning. Loved it. It felt like that. It made everything feel like when you explored and figured out where you were going to go, it made me feel nostalgic for those old games. And when I played all the sword fighting stuff and the lightsaber stuff, sword fighting, I'm such an old man. All the lightsaber stuff, that also felt earned. And like, if I was doing good, it's because I'm good at the game and not because the game is easy and I'm an OP Jedi. You know, I really like that. The characters also really good. To be honest, really enjoyed the characters. Grease, fantastic. BD1, my new favorite character of all time. Sarah was great. The Night Sister was great. It also, I'm not a huge Star Wars fan. Ren may be able to tell me more about this, but like, it also feels like they did a really good job of touching on certain Star Wars things in the extended universe and paying homage to them without really going overboard. And I really like that too. Like, they don't milk it, you know? We don't go to Tatooine so we can be like, you play on Tatooine, you know? Like, the only planet really even recognizable was Kashyyyk, and you barely are there in the movies. And I like that. I like that they kind of paved their own way stayed in the universe, but really went down their own road. And I think that's brave of them, one, because Star Wars fans, I think, are crazy. And they did a really good job. The game does have some problems. Occasionally, the controls are a little wonky. It stole that Sekiro Dark Souls combat, but the controls aren't quite as tight as they are. There are some weird pop-in issues, some loading issues, clipping issues. It's a brand new engine for Respawn. Up till now, they've built everything on Source. It is the first time using Unreal. So I kind of cut them some slack. For the most part, I didn't have any game-breaking bugs. I didn't have any crashes. I didn't have anything like that. So it's just a little nitpicky here and there. But yeah, besides the occasional frustrating control moment and some visual pop-in, the game worked really well. The movement and everything felt really good. The climbing and traversing and all that stuff felt really good. There's some weird times during the puzzles where things don't seem that intuitive. I don't know, environmental design, everything kind of looks the same, to be honest. But it's I think for the very first game that Respawn has made that's not a first-person shooter on the Source engine, I think they did a really good job, especially considering that it's an EA game. There's not a single loot box, and it's totally single player. So good for them, dude. I would give this game an 8.5 out of 10. It is it's way better than average. If you like Star Wars, it might actually be even better than an 8.5 out of 10. But for me, it did give me a passing interest in Star Wars. The fact that The Mandalorian is also pretty good helps me kind of get back into Star Wars. And overall, I enjoyed it. I want to play it more. I would like to explore all the planets that I didn't explore. I enjoyed killing all the mans as much as I could kill all the mans. And the boss battles and stuff were really good and fun. So yeah, they also got Forrest Whitaker in this game, which I guess Forrest Whitaker really likes playing Saw Gerrera. I guess that's just a thing. Also, Ben Burt literally did the droid noises, which is crazy. Scott Lawrence, best Darth Vader of all time, besides Darth Vader. Super good. But yeah, I'm gonna give this game. I'm gonna give them an 8. I'm gonna give it an 8.5 out of 10. It's very good. It is. It's one of the best games I've played this year, to be honest. And I think the only thing that holds this game down from being perfect is a couple little clunky moments in the combat, a couple little clunky moments in the puzzle solving. And the fact that it is, I don't want to say it doesn't do anything really well, but because it does. Everything it does really well, except for those things I just mentioned excluded. But it doesn't really do anything unique. There's nothing that this game does that other games don't really do. And that's not necessarily bad, but I would like to see Respawn maybe do something unique in the next game, and clearly they set it up for a sequel. So I would rather have Titanfall 3, but this game's good enough that I'd be happy if they did a Star Wars 2. So that'd be totally fine. So we got a new Star Wars game, Chad. It's 2019. We have a good Star Wars game. We have a good Star Wars television series, and I think a little bit less than a month from now, we're going to have a new movie, and we'll have to see if that one's good or not. So, yeah, that's what's happening. So 8.5 out of 10 for Star Wars Jedi, Fallen Order. And, yeah, great game. GG Respawn. I knew they could do it. If you watch this on YouTube, thank you very much. I'm zswiggs. I am live every day over at twitch.tv/zswiggs, starting live at 10 a.m. Eastern Time, Monday through Thursday, which is at 1600 Central European Time, and then noon Eastern, 1800 Central European Time on Friday and Saturday. You stop by, say hello to me. I'd love to meet you. If you're one of those YouTube people and you only like watching me on YouTube, that's cool too. Appreciate you hanging out. Hit the sub button. do the thumbs up, the bell, say your boy in the comments. I think that's what you do on YouTube, and I appreciate you watching it no matter how you did it. Okay? Appreciate it. And thanks for hanging out. All my Let's Plays are on my YouTube or at zswiggs.com/Let's Play, and I appreciate you all hanging out.